Did you know that every year, thousands of American veterans return home from war zones like Afghanistan? But over 1,500 of them come back without limbs, their bodies forever altered by the blast of an IED? For Michael Torres, a 28-year-old Marine from Chicago, that statistic wasn't just a number, it was his new reality. In October 2015, he stepped off a Greyhound bus onto the windy streets of the Windy City, his duffel bag heavy with discharge papers and a prosthetic leg that felt more like a cruel joke than a lifeline. The explosion had taken his left leg below the knee, leaving a throbbing stump and a soul shattered by survivor's guilt. What stakes could be higher than rebuilding a life when every mirror reflected a broken man? Michael hailed a cab to his sister Maria's cramped apartment on the south side, where the skyline taunted him with its unbreakable height. VA benefits trickled in at $1,200 a month after taxes, barely enough for rent in a rundown building on 63rd Street, where sirens pierced the night like accusation. He collapsed on the sagging couch, avoiding his reflection, convinced his days of purpose were buried in the desert sand. Friends from the unit faded away, their calls laced with pity he couldn't bear. As rain hammered the window one evening, he scrolled mindlessly on his phone, landing on a video of wounded warriors crossing finish lines. A spark ignited in his chest, faint but insistent. But could a man who'd lost so much ever run toward anything again? Michael's days dissolved into a monotonous haze of survival in the heart of Chicago's working-class grind. Mornings kicked off with bitter black coffee from the corner bodega, strong enough to chase away the fog from last night's cheap beer. He pounded the pavement figuratively for jobs, applying online for stock clerk positions at Walmart or security gigs at suburban malls. But each interview crumbled under the weight of his truth. "We need someone who can stand 8 hours straight," one hiring manager said, eyes darting away. 12 rejections in 3 months piled up like unpaid bills, the electric company threatening cutoff after he fell $150 behind. Maria, pulling double shifts as a nurse at Rush University Medical Center, floated him the cash, but her weary glances spoke volumes. Michael clung to his flawed belief. A one-legged vet was just dead weight in a world that prized agility. He skipped VA therapy sessions, dismissing them as pointless pity parties, and isolated himself further, ignoring texts from his ex, Sarah, who'd bailed months after his return. Unable to handle the changes, weight crept on 30 pounds from greasy Giordano's pizza deliveries, turning his once-fit frame into a stranger's. Flashbacks ambushed him at night, the phantom itch in his missing leg twisting like a knife. He volunteered sporadically at the local VA center, wheeling older vets like Frank, a grizzled Vietnam survivor who preached resilience. "Life ain't fair, son, but you gotta fight back." Michael nodded politely but tuned out. In his depression, a thick fog that blurred any path forward. One desperate night, as debt collectors called, he pawned his service medals for a measly $200 at a sketchy shop on Halsted Street, the clink of coins echoing his shame. Staring at the medicine cabinet pills, he wondered if ending the pain was the only escape. A knock jolted him. Maria, home early with takeout and fire in her eyes. "You're killing us both, Mike." Tears came then, raw and unbidden. Had he finally hit the unforgiving bottom, or was there a way up from this abyss? The obstacles crashed over Michael like relentless Lake Michigan waves, each one eroding his fragile resolve. First came the job hunt's brutal toll, those 12 soul-crushing rejections morphing into a deeper financial pit. Bills mounted. The VA denied extended benefits after he missed too many psych evaluations, leaving him scrambling for odd gigs like flyer distribution at $8 an hour, hobbling block to block on aching prosthetics. By fall 2016, he was $2,000 in debt, the weight of it pressing like an invisible boot. Then, education beckoned as a lifeline. He enrolled in business classes at Harold Washington College in January 2016. Tuition mostly covered by assistants, but the L-train commute was a nightmare. Crowds shoving him off balance twice in the first week alone. He bombed his initial exam with a 52 out of 100, pride stopping him from seeking accommodations. Dropping out after one semester left him owing $300 in fees, another failure etched into his ledger. Relationships crumbled next. Swiping on dating apps led to fleeting connections that vanished when he revealed his scar during a stroll in Grant Park. "It's not you," one text read, but the sting said otherwise. Loneliness fueled more weight gain, pushing him to 220 pounds on his 5'10" frame. Health betrayals hit hardest. A stump infection in summer 2016 sent him to Northwestern Memorial's ER, slapping him with $4,500 in post-insurance bills. Antibiotics and forced rest followed, but he overdid walks, blistering his skin and sidelining him for weeks. Systemic barriers loomed too. Disability programs rejected him thrice, once for outdated resumes, twice citing physical limits. Isolation deepened, flashbacks intensified, pulling him into dark spirals. In his bleakest hour, alone on that couch, pills in hand, suicide whispered as the only out, the room spinning with despair. Maria's intervention that night, bursting in, takeout forgotten, saved him, her hug a lifeline amid the storm. But as he wept, a nagging doubt surfaced. Could he keep dodging these blows forever? Escalation turned Michael's world into a pressure cooker. The third major hurdle fused physical and mental torment. Pushing through pain led to more setbacks, like a hamstring strain from overzealous walks, forcing bed rest and amplifying doubts. He applied for more programs, but bureaucracy stonewalled him. Forms lost in the mail, appeals denied. By winter, depression's grip tightened, sirens outside, mirroring his inner chaos. Frank at the VA kept prodding, "Swing back, kid." But Michael resisted, his internal barriers, self-doubt and guilt, building walls higher than Chicago's towers. A humiliating public fall on icy sidewalks in February 2017, prosthetics slipping, drew stares and whispers, cementing his invisibility. Debt climbed. He skipped meals to pay $150 electric arrears, hunger gnawing as fiercely as regret. Relationships hit rock bottom when Sarah called one last time, her voice distant. "I can't watch you give up." The line went dead, echoing his emptiness. Health flared again, an infection relapse in April. Another ER dash, bills stacking like accusations. In that haze, he contemplated the pills once more, the dark failure of surrender, tempting. But a faint memory of Frank's words lingered. What if one spark could ignite change amid the ruins? The turning point struck like lightning on a clear May morning in 2017. Michael, channel surfing in his dim apartment, froze on highlights from the previous Chicago Marathon. Runners streamed through Grant Park, but one segment gripped him. Jake, an Iraq vet with a blade prosthetic, blasting past competitors. "Running reclaimed my life," Jake said on screen. Heart pounding, Michael searched prosthetic running on his laptop, discovering the Challenged Athletes Foundation. Fingers trembling, he emailed them, half expecting silence. 2 days later, coordinator Lisa rang, "We've got grants for gear. Come in." At their Lincoln Park clinic, they fitted him with a carbon fiber running blade, a $5,000 marvel covered fully. Balancing on it felt wobbly, like teetering on a springboard. Lisa challenged, "Walk a block steady." He did, grit overriding awkwardness. In that moment, resolve crystallized, no more hiding. He'd train for a race, starting from scratch. But could this broken vessel truly sail again? Michael's effort unfolded one grueling step at a time, a testament to sweat over shortcuts. He rose at 5 a.m. daily, strapping on the blade for lakefront trail jaunts. Week 1. A mere half-mile in 12 minutes, lungs searing, stump protesting. He logged it all in a battered notebook, tracking every inch. Failures intruded early. Day 3's trip over cracked pavement, left knees scraped, but he rose, muttering, "Keep going." By month 2, he stretched to 2 miles thrice weekly, adding YMCA strength sessions for $25 monthly. Core work trimmed 10 pounds. Elena from the vet support group shared tips: protein shakes over soda. Summer 2017 brought a blister infection, benching him 2 weeks, depression nibbling at edges. He visualized finish lines, pushing back. Fall saw 5-mile non-stop runs in 45 minutes. Winter treadmill loans from Maria, hitting 20 weekly miles. 2018 dawned ambitious. April's Shamrock Shuffle, 10 kelvins loomed. Coach Tom, hired at $50 bi-weekly, crafted plans mileage ramping from 15 to 50 weekly. Dawn runs mirrored city lights off the lake, fueling with 2,500 daily calories of oatmeal and fruit. A July 20-mile attempt ended at 18 with dehydration vomit, a harsh lesson in hydration. Gel liners at $100 eased chafing. September peaked at 55 miles, a 22-mile practice in 3 hours 40 minutes. Nerves buzzed as race day neared. Would his body betray him mid-stride? Intensity ramped. Michael's regimen became his religion. Group runs with para-athletes fueled stories, stoking fire. A March 2018 hamstring pull cost 10 days, but he adapted, incorporating yoga stretches. First race. The 10 kelvins finish in 1 hour 15 minutes, 1,500th place, medal a talisman. Momentum built. What if the full marathon awaited? Breakthrough erupted on the 13th of October 2019, amid Chicago's gray skies. Bib 45231 on. Michael started in Grant Park, blade thudding amid 45,000 runners. Mile 5, 50 minutes, cheers along Michigan Avenue, buoying him. Halfway in Pilsen, 2 hours 10 minutes. The wall at mile 18 loomed, legs screaming, but Afghanistan grit surged. Worse than this. Past the United Center, cramps nipped, he walked 30 seconds, then pressed. Final Roosevelt Road push. Finish in sight, 4 hours 32 minutes. Tears mixing with sweat as the medal draped. Triumph tasted sweet, but it launched more. He earned NASM trainer certification online in 6 months for $600, pivoting to Zoom sessions at $40 hourly during 2020's pandemic. 5 initial vet clients grew to $2,000 monthly income. Saving $10,000, he leased 1,500 square feet in Englewood for Taurus Adaptive Sports Center in January 2021, outfitting with $15,000 in used gear. Weekly classes ballooned from 10 to 50 students by 2022, revenue hitting $60,000 yearly. Partnerships with VA and schools amplified reach. He shaved 20 minutes off his Boston Marathon time that year. Impact rippled. Teen Alex, arm amputee, nailed a 5 kelvins after 6 months. By 2023, a second Austin site served 150, income topping $120,000. Success, hard-won, reshaped lives beyond his own. Michael's transformation deepened into wisdom. His once flawed beliefs shattered like old chains. Disability wasn't defeat, it fueled rebirth. Gratitude swelled for Maria's unwavering support, Lisa's timely call, Tom's strategies, and Elena's companionship, culminating in their 2022 marriage and daughter, Hope's 2024 arrival. He mentored at the center, hosting TEDx talks in Chicago to 500 attendees, preaching, "I nearly quit, but small starts saved me." Donating 10% profits funded prosthetics for 15 vets. Free clinics touched 200 yearly. He taught tracking miles, celebrating micro wins, enduring pain. In quiet lakeside moments, he reflected, life's not about flawless strides, but persistent ones. Years on, Michael ran daily not for glory, but serenity, his center a beacon in Chicago's sprawl. Overlooking Lake Michigan, wind now invigorating, he built a legacy of empowered souls. If a shattered vet could lace up from despair's couch, rewrite his narrative through grit, so can you. Comment day 1 if this sparks your own starting line. Your marathon begins today.